yourself and introduce.
Okay, good evening to everyone.
Good
My
evening.
name is Richard Kelly Yao Ajima. I'm a naval officer stationed at the Naval Trading Command here in Agota. Uh, I'm a disciplinarian, very strict. That's me.
All right.
And a goal
Nice.
getter.
All right. All right. Nice to meet you, Richard.
Thank you.
Enoch.
Hello. Yeah, please, I'm Eno Gransford, a chartered financial economist. I'm also interested in the program because looking at my background, also want to move into the fine tech background. So I'm so much interested in the program, and I also want to put all the efforts into it to also acquire the knowledge that will take me to the next level of my endeavors. Thank you.
All right. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Godwin.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Godwin Dotonyo, and I hold a master's in Civil Science and Technology, and I work as an agronomist. But looking at the current trend in technology, I feel the need to have some tech background. So that is my motivation to join this program. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Godwin.
Yeah.
Forgive.
Good evening, everyone. Edem, forgive Michael Ubia Kolasi. I'm currently a full-time stay at home mom with my little boy. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Let's go with the Brightwell.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good
My name
evening.
is Brightwell Notako. I'm a Cisco Network Associate. And one fun fact about me, I love to travel.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
We have Junior. Curtis Junior.
Yeah, hello. My name is Senua Blodefe, and I'm a student.
All right. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Junior. Um, let's make it fast. Olivet.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Oliver Delasigleku, a student. I like to try new things. And that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
John.
Yeah, my name is John Betty. I'm a philanthropist.
That's great. Nice to meet you.
I want to gain the
John, you're not audible.
foundation and also have the competitive advantage.
Might be internet issue. Okay, let's go with Francis.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Ajima Francis, and I'm a student as well.
Nice to meet you, Francis.
Thank you very much.
Uh, KL Mensa. I don't know if I pronounced it well, but yeah.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Lawrence Kwame Mensah. I'm also a student and a tech enthusiast. someone who also want to build skills in that light. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Prince? Prince? I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, let's jump to Carriage.
Yeah, my name is Courage Dubenu. I'm a student and I'm just looking to learn a new skill. That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Well, I think everything is Edwin, have you introduced yourself? Edwin and Dennis.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm Edwin. Professionally, I'm a natural resource manager and I'm a tech enthusiast, particularly DevOps engineering.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm here to learn more.
Nice to meet you, Edwin.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Dennis. All right. If Dennis is not, I think we can. Dennis, can you hear me? All right. I think we can start the session. So, yeah, as I was saying initially, this module will help us basically to get the basics of web development. So I'll be taking you through this module, and together we'll learn like how to build interactive user interfaces, and of course we'll be introducing you to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But today the session is gonna be, let's say, basic. That's why I didn't prepare slides or well crafted notes. So will be more practical. So don't worry if in a few minutes I jump into my VS Code and start writing code. So so far I hope everyone has all the necessary tools installed. For instance, VS Code, which is the IDE we'll be using. So when I say IDE, is just, let's take it as a text editor that will help us, of course, write code. So if you have your VS Code set up, just maybe something text on the chat, or react, so that okay, I can see some people are already okay. The environment is already set up. Only a few people. What about others? Are we okay? Have we installed VS Code? Because we are going to write some HTML today, and we can't do that without VS Code installed. All right, so for those who haven't done it yet, what I'm going to do, maybe to show quickly how we can get VS Code installed. I'm gonna share my screen with you. Hope you can all see my screen. So for those who haven't done it, just go to Google and search for VS Code. Okay, Visual Studio Code. This is the tool we'll be using throughout this module. After searching, just click the first link that shows up on your search engine. Okay, internet is a little bit slower. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
My internet is a little bit slow. Let's see. Well, if your internet is faster than mine, just click the download link. It brings you to the download page. Look for a download button depending on the platform you're currently using. It might be Windows, Linux, I don't know, MacBook or whatever. Just look for any like the specific platform you're using and download the file and install it. The the process is kind of the same as if you are installing any other software on your computer. Let's download VS Code. I think I will give you guys 5 minutes. Those who haven't downloaded it yet, let's take 5 minutes to set up the environment before we get started. Are we okay with that? Great. Let's do it now. 5 minutes from now. I hope everyone will be okay. Well, so this is how the download page looks like. For those using Windows, just select this button. For those using Linux or Ubuntu or any other Linux-based operating system, you can just select one of these. For the Mac users, here is the link to download VS Code. So click on one of these links, download and install it. Let's get ready, please. Please, we can't see your screen. Oh, my screen is shared. I don't know why you can't see it.
I think I have. If you're struggling to see the screen, sometimes if your network is a bit slow, it does that. But I have your screen.
Okay.
So you want to check your connection again. I see.
All right.
So I think what the individual can do is drop off and log on again. Sometimes it's just the internet.
All right. Thanks, Courtney. Thank you. All right. If you have some issues downloading VS Code, just let us know, because in like 2 minutes, you are going to start with the session. Okay. Well noted. Well, guys, so I hope VS Code is now downloaded. Are we okay with the environment? Great. So we are going to start now the practical part of the session. As I said, I'm not going to be like to say much theories. So today will be more practical than than just the theory. So I'm going to get started with the introduction to HTML today. And of course, at the end of the session, we'll have one assignment to everyone. And yeah, before even giving the assignment, there will be like just a heads up on the AI usage. So I'll talk about it a little bit later, but yeah, let's get started. So I will share my VS Code with you. I think my screen is already shared. So yes, guys, here's my VS Code that I've already launched. So I've created a folder and opened the folder. Let me maybe show you how I did it. So I created a folder named Tech Nomads Fellowship. Name it, give it whatever name you want, and then open the folder within your VS Code. You can either go to File, open, okay, you can either go to File, New Folder. Okay, no. Okay, File, Open, Folder. Look for the exact path where you saved your folder. For me, it's Tech Nomad, and then open your folder like that. And then your folder will be opened in your VS Code. And from there, now we can get started creating our files and start writing some basic code, HTML code. I just want to make sure everyone is on page. Are we okay? Are we all okay? We all have our folders open in VS Code. Eden is fine. Great. Only about 2 people. Please, can you go over again? Okay. So I'll take it again. So for those of you who haven't created the folder yet, just open any path on your computer. It might be on your desktop, I don't know, wherever your documents, downloads, anywhere. Create a folder, give it a name, whatever name you want. I named mine Tech Nomads Fellowship. And then open the folder with VS Code. Okay, let me just close this. Open a new instance of VS Code. So here's my instance of VS Code. I'm gonna open my folder within VS Code. So I will go to File, there is a menu called File. I go to Open Folder and look for the exact path where I saved my folder. Mine is Tech Nomads Fellowship, and click Open. Now I have my folder opened in VS Code. Are we all good?
Sorry, I can't see any activity going on the screen.
Oh, okay. Might be internet issue. Is it the same issue?
I think I can see, so probably you should log out and log in again.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that.
All right, I just want everyone to be on page so that nobody will be left behind. Just react if you are good. Well, Richard, Mensa, Clenham, can see your reaction. Forgive, Godwin, Edwin, Dennis, Brightwell, Enoch, Prince, you have your hand raised. You have something to say?
No, please. I don't have anything to say. I mean,
Okay. I hope that was a sign to let us know that you're good to go.
sure.
All right. So guys, I think we are going to start now. So everybody with VS Code opened, let's open the folder, and yeah, let's create one new file. So VS Code has this icon with the file and plus sign. So you can just click it. That's to create a new file inside your folder. If you want to create a folder, a subdirectory, like another directory within your folder, you can click this new folder here. So these are the most common icons we'll be using within VS Code. So for now, let's use this one. I hope you are seeing my screen. So this one will help us create a new file. I'll click it and name it index.html. So here I give it an extension .html because every website is based on what? On an HTML document, an HTML file. So you can either name it like give an HTML extension or just leave it with the HTML. These are two supported formats, two supported extensions for the web. So you can either give it HTML or HTML extension. So this will be our index, like our, how can I call it? The page where we'll be practicing today's lesson. I think that's all what we'll need today. So everyone, let's create a file called index. You can call it whatever you want, but for now, let's keep that standard for today. Index.html. All right, so Since we are introducing HTML today, one might ask, what is HTML? So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So it's just the standard language for creating web pages on the internet. It's just a standard. It's a language. It's like universal language for creating web pages on the internet. Okay, so it structures the content on the web by using elements defined by tags. We will see what tags are later on in this session. And these elements called tags will actually form the building blocks of all the websites on the internet, okay? Of the website, of course. So every website you will see, the structure that you see on a website, you will see the header, you will see different sections, you will see the footer, you will see, I don't know, menu, you see what everything you see on a website, know that it's structured by this language named what? HTML. So HTML actually stands for hypertext markup language. As I was saying, it's a standard language for creating web pages. So we'll see how to structure different elements on a website later on. But the language that will help us to do so is called HTML. I think we are good. So HTML actually plays a very, very crucial role in web development. And one of those reasons is, of course, provides the basic structure of web pages, as I was saying it before. I think another crucial role of HTML, it allows developers or everyone who wants to create a website, web pages. It allows them to embed also multimedia and create forms for user input. Let's say in your website you have a contact section. You want user to input their information for you to collect this information and use it, let's say, for marketing or whatever thing you want to do with it. So HTML will help you create forms for user to input this information that you want to collect. And it also help us it also helps us design elements on the website such as headings, paragraphs, links, and so on and so forth. So we'll see all of this in practice, and I hope I'm not going too fast. Are we okay? All right, so let's see now a basic structure of an HTML document. So when I say HTML document, is actually the file, and a website comprises a lot of HTML files, right? We'll see that moving forward. So let's see a basic structure of an HTML document. So an HTML document is basically has a very specific structure in which you will write your website, your web page content, right? So every website, every web page you see on the web is actually embedded in what we call doc type. So I will explain what a doc type is. So we'll open and type doc type. HTML, like so. Right? So sorry, this is, I have a code assistant that is generating, but yeah. So what this line will do, basically, the doctor HTML will declare the document's type and version of HTML. As the name suggests, it gives us the name of what of the HTML. I'm sorry, it declares the document type and of course the version of HTML. And we have to note that this doc type is actually not case sensitive. So you can write it either in small letters, you can even mix them. The letters, nothing will change. It's not case sensitive. So after defining the document type and version of the document, you'll have to open what we call an HTML tag. So the tags here are like the elements that help us structure our website, our web page. So the very first HTML tag is called, of course, HTML, just to let us know that we are creating a web page, we are creating HTML document. So you open what we call tag, HTML tag. So any tag is actually included inside these two signs, greater than and yeah, the other side. So before opening any tag, make sure you write these signs and then you type the name of the tag you want to type. So here, the very first HTML tag is called HTML because it will help us embed all the other tags. Okay, so this is what we call an opening tag, and then we have to close the tag, and we will use the same signs. And then before even writing the tag name, the closing tag will have this, and then you can see, okay, I'm sorry, yours might not behave like mine. I still, let me see if I can deactivate this assistant, this intelligence. Anyway, let's just continue. So here you can see we have our very first tag. This, I was saying, it's an opening. Sorry. This is the opening tag. Before even continuing, let me show you how you can comment your code. Sorry. So to comment HTML code, you have to put this greater than sign, put 2, and then exclamation mark, and then write something. Right. So what exactly this line does is actually telling me that, not telling me, but telling my browser that, hey, this line of code, of course, it's just for myself. I'm just commenting it, but don't consider it. I will show you a little bit later. I'm commenting this just to, let me write some comments here. Opening tag. So this line here basically won't show on our web, on our web browser, right? It won't actually, the browser won't recognize it as a HTML element or as an HTML code. So it's just something that we write for ourselves. We are documenting our code. Okay, so the first one is an opening tag and the closing tag. Let me put it here, or let me say just on the right side. Great. I hope you're all good. Godwin, I can see your hand raised. You have a question?
Yes, you were mentioning HTML, but I saw you type HMTL.
Sorry about that. It's HTML, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank
HTML.
you.
All right. So after that, the following elements will be the following tag. Here we are writing the basic structure of what of a web page, right? So the following tag will be what we call head. So for now, I assume that everyone is now able to open a tag and to close a tag as well, right? So I will open what we call the head tag. I will write head. I will close it, and of course, my VS Code is proposing me the closing tag immediately. So yeah, here's how you can actually open and close a tag. So the head tag, what does it do exactly? So the head tag will contain the meta information of what about the document, about our web page. I will explain later on what a meta information is, but just for now, the head will help us, like will contain the meta information like the title of our website, and other meta information like that we can help us for SEO. Of course, I'm trying to say a lot of jargon. Maybe some of you don't know about these words. Yeah, but the head tag will help us contain, like will contain the very basic meta information about our document. Okay, it will contain things like the title, the website title. It will contain like character sets if we want to determine which character format we want to use for our website. If you want to, yeah, link some internal files like CSS files, all of those meta information will be included in what in this head title. Of course, I'm going to add one basic meta information, which is the title of our document. So I will open the tag again, called title. The tag is called title. I'll close it, and then I will put a very basic title. Let's say introduction to web development. That is our title. All right, so for now, we have a very basic structure of a web page. So let's see how we can actually see what we are implementing in our web browser, because a web page, of course, has to be seen. Like the progress we are doing so far, we have to see it in our web browser. So to do it, you can either go look for the path where you actually created your folder. For me, my folder is here. you can see this index.html file that we created in VS Code, right? So that index file will, by default, you will have an icon of your default browser. So for me, you can see here, I have an icon of Chrome because Chrome is my default browser, but it can have, yeah, the icon might vary depending on what is your default browser. So you just double click the file and you will open it with your default twice, yeah, default browser. If not, you just right click the file and click on open it or open with. You can see different options, different browsers. Okay, so for me, I'll click open since my default browser is already selected, which is Chrome. So I'll click open and you can see a very blank page. That means we have successfully created our very first web page on our local machine. Is everything okay? Are we all good?
Yeah. Hello. Please, can you go over the opening of the file again? I couldn't get it.
All right. So you know where you saved, where you created your folder, right? So you open the folder. Inside the folder, you find only one file for now. Ignore these two files. Yeah, just ignore them. But you will find the index file. This index file, we created it inside our VS Code. It's here. So when you are inside your folder, you can either double click it to open it in your default browser, or you right click the file and click open. It will automatically open the file. You will automatically open your HTML document inside your browser.
Thank you. I get it now.
All right. So as you can see, I have my document open here. You can see in this address bar that I have the full path to my index.html file. So this is my HTML document opened inside my browser. So you can try to hover the tab opened inside your browser, and then you can see the title that we put inside our head tag is actually being showed. If you hover it, you can see the title that we put. So this one is a meta information because it can't be displayed where on this screen, our browser screen view, right? This white blank page, everything that is not displayed inside this view here, it's actually a meta information, so it can't be displayed here. And all the information that won't be displayed in this specific blank page here, we'll actually put them or write them inside our head tag, right? So we have the title. If you want to write the title, you just put it where? You just put it inside the head tag. I think the meta information is now clear for now.
Then sorry to interrupt. Prince, please
Yes.
mute your mic. Thank you. Continue.
All right. Thank you, Courtney. So I think we are good now. So as you can see, VS Code is actually helping me to do the indentation of my code, right? So you can see we have a very first tag, which shows that it is actually a high level tag, right? It's the beginning of every HTML, no, yeah, every web page, every HTML document. As you can see, my VS Code is helping me. It's showing me that this is the parent of this one. Okay, you can actually remove everything, your code will still work, right? Your code will still work, but for the sake of, just writing your code and make it clear to read, you just have to do what? To do the indentation of your code. So you just come at the beginning and press your tab key on your keyboard, and then it's okay. So we have the HTML, which is the parent tag. We have the head. It's actually a child of the HTML document, HTML tag, sorry. Okay. And we have the title, which is the child of the head, and it's the grandson of what? Of the HTML HTML tag. Okay. So let's see another tag, which is the body. Okay. So we already know how to open and close a tag. So I'll open, put body, I'll close, and then you can see the body is also a child of the HTML. Every other tags that you will use inside your HTML documents will be have to be the child of what? Of the HTML. I think we are all good. So the body, what it will basically do, it will help us. It will contain the content of what? Of the document that is displayed to the user. So everything you see on a web page will be actually inserted inside this body tag. For instance, the title we wrote here, if we go back, yeah, this is Chrome, my web browser. We didn't see anything. We are actually not seeing anything being displayed in this blank screen here, right? So every element that will write inside the body is actually supposed to be seen by the user, right? It can be an image, it can be a paragraph, it can be any other section. It can be a link, it can be any other. We will see that moving forward. So every element that you want the user to see, you have to write it inside this body tag, right? So let's say you want to write a title, for example. So for titles, we have, let me just use this comment. Let me copy this and paste it here, right? And right here, the body tag contains the content of the document that is displayed to the user. So everything you actually want the user to see, you have to write it in between these two tags, not outside. Some other people will open the tag like this and forget to close it, and that will probably not be seen by the user. So you have to make sure all the elements that you want the user to see, make sure you open your tag and you close it, and then in between the opening and the closing tag, you write everything inside there. Of course, we are going to see the few tags that can be used, right? So far, if you have a question, please just ask it. Godwin? Godwin, I can see your hand raised. Do you have any question? Godwin and Forgive. Forgive, you can go on since Godwin is not talking.
All right, thank you. Please, I would just want to ask, in between the opening and the closing of the tag, I'm finding it a bit difficult to understand.
Okay. We take it again. So
Thank
all right. So this is my comment. Let me just cut it, put it at the top here. So when I'm saying in between the opening and the closing tag, right? When I open my body tag like this, let's say I'm writing body, right? This is my opening tag. So I can't write elements. Let's say here, I want to write something. Of course, we will see how we can use that space. But for now, make sure you open the tag first and you close the tag, body, right? Sorry. You close the tag. And in the middle here, I hope you can see my sorry for a minute. I'm coming. All right. So after opening and closing your tag, okay, we already know that if you leave your tag like this, it's going to throw an error. As you can see, the following tag will throw an error or will be highlighted in red by your text editor. So you make sure you close it first, okay? And then that was the opening tag. So for the closing tag, you have to do the same. Let's say body, and then okay, sorry, you have to start by this is it slash, forward slash, whatever. Yeah, just put the slash first and then close with this greater than sign, right? So in between here, this space here, that's where you have to input all your information. So you have to use this space here. I don't know if actually getting understood. Can you get it? Who asked the question? Forgive. Yes, please go on.
Yes, please. It's better now. I have another question.
Go on, please.
Yes. So, at what point from the body to the from the heading to the body, where do you introduce the HTML, or you just use it from the head?
Can you ask the question again? Can you come again? I don't get your question.
Okay, so what I've realized from your presentation is that from the head, or before you introduce the head, there was HTML introduced. That is the opening tag. Then you introduce the head. From there, we had let me say the child of the head. That is the introduction to the web development. Then there is another head down there. So I'm asking, now you are creating the body, or you are creating another tag for the body. Do you have to bring the HTML, or what you introduce from the onset is what will take you through to the body? Thank you.
All right. So the HTML, as I was saying, is the parent of all the web page elements, right? So it's the parent. Like you write it once, and that's all. Your whole document, HTML document, you just have to write the HTML once. Now inside the HTML tag, you have now I think mainly two children, right? We have the head, which contains meta information, meaning the information that won't be seen by the user, like on the main screen. And you have the body. We have two children inside the HTML tag, right? We have the head and we have now the body. So don't write the body inside the head like this. Body is not the child of the head tag. Body is a direct child of what? Of the HTML here. So make sure you write it, you actually write it outside the head, but inside the head, I mean the HTML tag. So here's the HTML, the opening and the closing tag for the HTML. So inside the HTML, we have the opening and the closing tag of our head, and then we have the opening and the closing tag of our body. So these are the two major children of what? Of the HTML. And now these two children, have also their specific what? Children. For instance, you can see here the title, which is the child of what? Of the head. And we have the body. We are going now to see what are the elements that are the children of the body, like the elements the user can see. We are going to go through them and see how it can be displayed in our web browser. So the HTML, I think to answer your question, the HTML is only written once inside the document, right? So I don't think it's clear. All right. Any other question? All right. So
Hello.
okay. Go
Hello.
on, please.
So that is also to say that anytime you open a tag, you must also close the tag.
Yeah, that's the best practice actually. When you open a tag, make sure you close it immediately and get in between the opening and the closing tag to start writing the children of that specific element. Otherwise, it will be throwing you errors, or it will be, misbehaving. But let's say to won't display some information you want the user to see. So when you open a tag, make sure you do what? You close it immediately. That's the best practice. But if you are, let's say, smart enough, you can open it, write children, like you can do like this. You open, you start writing, children. Let's say I want to another one, and then you come here and close your head, right? That's you. But the best practice is to open and close it, and of course, write the children afterwards.
All right. Thank you.
Are we good? All right. All right. Okay. Now let's see the first elements inside our body. So I will cut this, put it up here just to show. So for those of you who didn't get how to comment the code in HTML, so to comment the code, or let's say anything inside your document, you just have to open this sign, you put the exclamation sign, right? And then closing one. So anything you write here won't be considered, won't be actually displayed or interpreted by by your web browser. So it's just a comment that you are writing to yourself, saying, hey, I'm writing this because of this. I'm writing this, let's say, because I want to understand, or you're just documenting your own code. Because when you write a lot of code, you can actually get lost in the code you're writing. So in order to document that code, you have just to use these two signs, and then in between you write the comment to yourself. So for me, I will say here is where my body starts, right? I can add, just for fun, I can add right, let's say this is the title of my web page. And all right, so the first child of the body element, the body tag we are going to see, is actually the heading. So headings in HTML will help us, actually I'm actually repeating myself, but yeah, headings will actually help us what? Display to the user the different, let's call it, I don't want to call it title, but yeah, it's the title. Let's say in a web document, in a Microsoft Word document, right? You have several levels of titles, of headings. That's the right word. Yeah, you have several levels of headings. So the tag that will help us to do what? To display these headings to the user is called H, right? Now we have several headings, several levels of headings, right? It goes from H1 to what? To H6. H1 being the biggest heading, like among all the 6 ones, right? So we have H1. So I will open my tag and I write H and put 1. That's my opening tag, right? I'll delete this. Sorry for my VS Code. It's generating the code for me. So I'll close my H1 tag, right? So that is what my first heading. So you can go and write H2, as I said, it goes from H1 to H what? To H6. I close this. I will open H3 again. That's H3. H4. I will go down. H5 and H6, right? I have all the levels of my headings. Let's see. I write here, this is okay. Let me just say title 1 or heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and heading 6. So how now can we see this in our web browser? I guess we already know what to do. So, but before opening your file in your web browser, make sure in VS Code you actually save the file first. And to save the file, you can do just Control S or Command S for those using MacBook. So you do Control S to save the file, and then do the same thing we did at the beginning. Go where you saved your file, look for your file, double click it, will open automatically in your default browser. If you already have the file opened in your browser, like I do, I have my file already opened in a tab in my Chrome browser. I'll just click refresh. So I will click this reload button, and then you can see all my words, all my titles have been displayed. And as I was saying, H1 is actually the highest heading amongst others. You can see as the level decreases, the size of the heading also does what decreases. You can see H6 is actually the lowest among others. Can we all see that? Sorry.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Hello.
Yes.
Is
Go
it
on.
necessary to have all the 6 headings in a web page,
Okay.
like when designing a website?
It's not necessary. So it depends on your need. So if you need, let's say, to emphasize on something, you can use a bigger heading like the H1, right? It depends on your need. So whenever you're designing a web page, if you see that, okay, for this title, for this heading, I can use let's say the third level of the heading. That will be H3. So it depends on whatever thing you are designing. Okay. So it's not compulsory to actually have all the headings inside your website. I just wrote it for us to see the difference between all the headings. And again, make sure this like every child is independent from another one. Let's say if you wrote H2 inside here, inside H1, right? You will see what will happen. Let's refresh and see. Can you see? So make sure all the elements, nothing changes actually, but make sure the elements, the child are independent. We'll see how we can use nested elements, right? We'll see that later on, but for now, let's focus on these single elements being independent each from another. Right, so that was the heading, and I think it's clear enough. Let's see how we can now use the paragraph. So what I'm going to do right after the H1 closing tag, right? I will click enter or return, and I will write the tag that will help us define a paragraph in our web page, right? And that tag is called P, right? P for paragraph, right? So I don't know if you have noticed it, but all the HTML tags are actually English words, right? Even for H1, you can see it's H standing H, that means heading. For paragraph, we'll use P, right? That means paragraph. So I will open my P paragraph and close it, right? And I say, hey there, this is my very first paragraph. I refresh my page, and you can see the difference between a paragraph and the headings. You can see the heading is more, let's say in bold, but the paragraph is has just the normal font type, right? So this is the first paragraph. So if you want to write another paragraph, let's say below the heading 2, you have to make sure you are below the heading 2. Let's say another paragraph. Hey there, this is my second paragraph, right? I will write paragraph again. Say hola, this is my third paragraph. Another paragraph, I say it's Ali. Oh, paragraph. Sorry for the and hello. This is my okay. Right. So if I refresh again, I can see my paragraphs in between my headings. So this is how we will be using. This is how we can use, or we can introduce a paragraph inside our web page or our website, right? So it's as simple as you can see it, right? So just make sure you open a p tag and close it immediately. In between the closing, the opening, and the closing tag, write whatever sentences, whatever paragraph you want, whatever text you want to write. I think it's that's simple, right? So let's quickly see how we can integrate links inside our website. Okay, links are basically the elements you can click to access other pages or other information on the internet.
Hello. So, the paragraph is also a child of the body.
Definitely, you're right. We'll see later how we can actually nest like nested elements, how we can incorporate another a tag inside another. But yeah, that's not the question for today. Let's just see the basic usage of these tags. So let's see how we can actually use a link inside our web page. So for now, I will go below my first paragraph, right? There is an HTML tag called A, just the letter A, like that. And the A stands for, I think it's anchor, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's anchor, right? So we'll use this A tag to do what? To actually define a link inside our website. So the A tag defines what? An hyperlink, a link inside our web page. So I will do the same, right? I will open. This is now the routine. I will open my A tag, close, and then what? Right. I'll open and close it, right? So in between here, between the opening and the closing, I will say, what can I say? Okay, let's say go to Google, right? Go to Google. If I go in my web browser, let me see. I refresh, you can see the link is there, but you can't click it as of now. I was saying an A tag will help us introduce links we can click through to access either the elements inside our web page, other elements like other pages, other documents inside our web page, or to access external resources. Let's say you want to access an external website. It's Google, it can be Google or any other website. So to make this link clickable, okay, for now, if I click, there is nothing happening. It's like let's say a random paragraph that I'm writing. So to add that click effect, let's see how we can do it. We will introduce what we call attributes. So I will explain what an attribute is later on, but let's just see how we can make it work, how we can make it a clickable link, right? So we'll introduce what we call the href attribute. Okay, we'll write href like that. The H stands for hyperlink and the ref is reference, right? So hyperlink reference, we are trying to reference what our link, where do we want to go when we click this text here, right? So I'll write href, I'll put the equal sign, right? Equal sign, and I'll open the double quotes like this. You can either put the double quotes or the single ones like this. The same thing it will do, like it will produce the same result. And then inside the quotes, it can be the single quotes or the double ones. Inside the quote, I will do what? I will write the link, or I will actually write the path where I want to go after clicking to that specific link. So here I said go to Google. So I will basically take the user to Google when they click what? When they click that specific link. So I will write the address, the web address of Google. Let's say, okay, let's do it www.google.com. So this is the link where we want to take the user. After clicking to this, go to Google text, and we've introduced this attribute called href. Href equals double quotes, like you open the quote and close them, and in between the quotes you write the path of where you want to do what to access. So let's go back to our page. Let's refresh. Now you can see our link has changed, right? You can see now that it's something we can click on to access an external or an internal resource, right? So if I click here, you can see file couldn't be accessed. I will explain why it's doing that. File couldn't be accessed, but you can see you can see how it's now a clickable link. So I can click that link to access certain files, either locally, like on my website, or external external resources, other websites, right? So I'll just go back like this and go back in my VS Code. The reason why it didn't actually open this Google address, I think it's because I have to put an apps https www.google.com. Now I save again my my page, Control S, and I go back, I refresh, right? And I click, and now you can see I have access to Google, right? Any question? Okay, no question. I assume that everything is clear. So this is how you can actually insert a link inside your documents. Okay, let's say you want to access a second page. You have two pages inside your website, right? You have index let's create another page called what? Let's call it page, or let's say profile, right? Profile.html. Okay, and here I'll just copy this, my code in my index, come in profile, paste it, delete everything. Okay, let's say I change the title to profile. Okay, let me remove the comment since I already know what's in my code. So I will delete this, I will delete this as well. And I have my profile, and inside my body, I will put an H3, okay, and say, this is my profile. This is my profile, right? Add a paragraph, sorry, paragraph, and say, welcome to my profile. My profile page, right? Now I have two pages already inside my what? Inside my folder, right? My website folder. I already have two files, the profile and the index. So I will come to my index or web page. So instead of redirect, okay, let me create another link. That one will take the user to Google, but this one, let's say a tag. I'll close it, right? I'll go inside the opening tag. I will do href, right? Opening quotes, and say profile. I will write the name, the path to my words, to my other page, the page that I want to have access to, right? So I will do profile.html. So inside the opening, like in between the opening and the closing tag, I would say go to my profile, or let me just say my profile, right? I will save my file. I will go my web browser, will refresh, and then you can see I have my profile here. I have go to Google, and you can see that it's showing that I've already clicked this link. That's why it's not very bluish. So it's, yeah, you can see my profile has now it's now being showed by to the user, I mean. So you can click my profile, and you can see I have now access to what? To my second page, which is my profile. Let's say we want now, when we are on this page, my profile, we want to go back to the other page, the index, or let's say the home page, right? So we will do that. We'll come to my profile, and below the P paragraph, I will do what? I will add an a tag, sorry, href, and I will write index.html and say go to what? Home page. Go to home page. I will save, Control S. I'll come back here. I will refresh, and then I click go to my profile. You can see I have go to home. If I click there, you can see I'm already back to my home page again. So this is how you can play with the a link, I mean the a tag. This is how you can use links inside your what? Inside your web page. So for the images, let's see how we can. Any question? All right, Godwin, go on.
Yes, please. Yes, Prince. I would want to plead that you repeat doing the link, inserting the link. If you could repeat it for us, my network glitched a bit, so I couldn't get
All
it.
right. Yeah, so I started by saying that links will help us access either internal resources or external. So by internal resources, it's basically other pages, right? If you want to access another page, another resource, it can be a file or whatever thing you want to access in your website. Links can help us do so. So to integrate a link inside your web page, we use what we call an A tag, which stands for anchor, right? So you put the A tag, you open the A tag. We already know how to open and close a tag. And then you, in between the opening and the closing tag, you write like a message to the user. What do you want the user to see? When they see that message, it can take a certain action, right? So let's say you want to say access this file, or click here to access whatever thing you want them to access, to have access to. Click to access this file, right? So for now, if you go and refresh your page, you will see the text is there, but it's not clickable. You can't click it, right? So to make it a clickable link, you have to integrate or insert what we call an attribute. And I will explain what an attribute is, but yeah, you have to insert an attribute, and that attribute is called href, right? H for hyperlink and ref for reference, right? So a reference to that hyperlink. So you put the equal sign, you open the quotes, and then you put the link or the path, not the link, the path to where you want the user to get that specific resource. If it's Google, if it's an external resource, you want the user to access an external website. Let's say you are creating your portfolio. That's, by the way, the assignment for today. You're creating the portfolio. You want the user to access, let's say, your GitHub repository, or you want them to access another website that you built for a client before. This is how you will do it. So you can say here, click to access the website I built for, I don't know which company, MTN. Okay, so here you will put the MTN website, whatever link, right? So you put the link to the MTN website or to the website that you built. You put the link there and make sure it's an absolute link. By absolute link, I mean make sure you insert the HTTPS and then this specific domain and whatever. Okay. I don't think if I've answered or I've cleared your Prince. Is he okay now?
It's okay. I get it.
All right. Any other question? Well,
for the hello.
Hey,
Hello.
please go on.
Yeah, for the profile.
Mm-hmm.
For the profile, the heading tag that you use H3.
Yes, I used H3. Yeah.
Why so?
So
why is it not H2?
As I explained, it depends on your use case. It depends on how you want to design. There is no like a set rule that says that you have to use H3 for this specific heading. you have to use H1. It depends on what you want. If you want to like emphasize on something, make it bigger, right? You already know instead of using H6, you have to use H1. So it depends on you. Nobody will tell you like, hey, I want, unless your client or whoever you're designing the website for actually gives you all these details, like, hey, yeah,
Oh,
here I want you to use an H3. And by the way, they don't know it. So it's you, the
determine.
person designing the website, to actually know. Okay.
Yes, I get it now. So it means that the headings, the H1, H3, H2 will determine the size of the
Yeah,
whatever that will
true.
be displayed on the website.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So if you want
The
it to be bigger,
H1.
you go
If
for
you
the
want it to be
H1.
smaller, you
If you
can go
want it to
maybe
be
for H5, 6, H4. It depends on, yeah.
okay, okay, I
You're
get it
welcome.
now. Thank you.
Wow, I think it's been a great moment, right? Godwin, yes, Godwin, you want to ask a question? Godwin, forgive.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Please ask. Okay.
Please, I've noticed that after you've opened and closed a tag and you've inserted whatever you want to insert, at the latter part of the tag,
Yes.
there is the opening, then the forward slash with whatever command you gave earlier, and then close. Please, is that automatic or we have to insert that?
Ideally, you just have to ensure it is closed, right? They are plugins or extensions that can help you make it automatic. But whatever happens, if you don't have the plugin, just make sure that it happens. If it doesn't come automatically, we have, as you are progressing along, you learn to install some extensions that will do that for you automatically. But now, if you don't have that, that means you need to make sure that you close it yourself. Yes. But every tag must be closed generally, except for extreme cases or some tags that behave differently. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Bright Prince and Godwin. I can see your hands. If you have questions, please. All right. I think Godwin is just telling us that he's okay or whatever. So I think we are now beyond time. So I will maybe share some resources with you to integrate, let's say, an email, the image, and how we can also integrate the lists, and how we can use other like basic tags. But for now, I think are we all set for the homework? By the way, yeah, I think the resources that I will share will help us get how to use the image tag. And I think after going through the resources, we'll be okay to actually work on the assignment. So I think for today, yeah. So the assignment is just okay, let me see if I can go. Yeah. So you're going to develop a personal web page that showcases your skills, projects, contacts, and information using HTML. And we've already seen some basic tags, right? And I just demonstrated how you can create another file within your project, within your project folder. So here I can see, just to explain the assignment, you have first of all your index, which will host your home page. And here you have skills, projects, and contact information. So these are separate files that you will create inside your what? Inside your project folder. For instance, you can see I've already created my profile and my index. So this is like my home page, this index. And the profile is another file that I just created, right? So it will help the user to access all my profile. And if I want to create, like to give the user access to my skills page, let me call it like that, I just have to click this icon that we saw before at the beginning and create another page. Let's say skills. Oh, sorry, I have to add the extension HTML, right? And I will put the basic like the basic structure of the HTML. I will start with the doc type, HTML, head, and all those tags that we saw. And if I want to link the user from my index page, my home page, if I want to redirect the user to my skills, you already know what to do. This is the line that will help you, right? Insert a link, an a tag, and puts the path to your file, the skills file, and do so for the remaining files here. So I can see another page that will redirect the user to your projects, the projects that you've already done. I can see also another one which is for the contacts. So for now, for today, I think after going through the resources I will share with you, I think for now what you can do, let me do this. So what you can do, create, I think it's 4 pages, right? 4 pages. One is the index, be your home. The second will be skills page, right? The third will be what? Will be the what? Project and contact. Projects. The fourth will be, yes, contact, right? After creating this, of course, add links to all the pages. Like when you are in the index page, make sure you can access, the user can access your skills page. Let's do this. Make sure the user in the index page, when the user clicks on maybe access my skills or view my skills, whatever thing you want to tell the user, they will do what? They will access this one, this one, and this one. And when on the skills page, right, make sure they go back to the index. When they click on something in this page, they go back to what? To the index page. Do the same, like repeat the same thing for all the 4 pages. And make sure each page has let me, okay, add images to all the 4 pages. Add headings to all the 4 pages. Add paragraph, at least add at least 2 paragraphs to all the 4 pages. Yeah, I think for now, okay, I think that's all for today.
Yeah. Please show this page. Yeah, I want to get this page.
I think that's all for the assignment. So the only thing that we didn't see today is how to add images, but all the others we are okay with it. So I will share the resource, the resource on how to insert an image in your HTML document. And after reading it, you'll be able now to integrate yeah, to integrate an image in your pages, your specific pages. All right, so I think we are good for today. Thank you all for your participation. We'll see you again, I think, on Thursday, same time, same link. Of course, we'll use the same link to join the session. So let's make sure we are there on time on Thursday, and hopefully we'll actually brush up all the remaining parts. I mean, before jumping to another language. We'll see it in the future. So thank you guys. I think we are all good, unless someone is still typing this, but I think I can also share this to you guys. So for those who were not practicing today, make sure by Thursday you have VS Code well installed, and make sure you like revise all the basic things we saw today. Okay.